world, and today we're going to be doing a short practice that will help you focus on your neck and your shoulders. So this is a really great practice to use if you feel like you've got a little bit of that tech neck syndrome. Using a lot of devices, sitting at a computer can create a lot of tension in the neck. And the muscles of your neck then attach into your shoulders, and so there's this dynamic of push and pull that happens that can create a lot of discomfort in this area for a lot of people. So we're going to work a little bit on that today. For this practice, you're going to need a strap. If you don't have a strap, you could just use a belt, or even a sweatshirt that's long enough would be totally fine too. You can also use a block if you'd like. You really only need it if you want to sit on it. Sometimes sitting in a cross-legged position is a little bit uncomfortable, but if you were to sit sort of upright where your hips are above the level of your knees, that makes this a little bit more comfortable on the low back. So I'm going to sit there because we'll be sitting here for a little while. So if you have something you can kind of sit up on, that might make it a little bit better. All right, so we're going to start out with using the strap. So grab your strap and then unwind it, or your belt, or whatever you've got. And you're going to take a grip on this that is a little bit wider than the distance of your shoulders. And I would say err on the side of even wider than that, right? So if you can go a little bit wider on it, go ahead. And then just grab onto the strap. Your palms will be facing sort of downward. And then draw your arm bones back and into the sockets so that you feel that your shoulders are integrated. Lift the top of your chest just slightly. And then take your arms up over your head and keep your arms as straight as you can, and see if you can bring your arms down behind you. Okay, if you had to bend your arms to get there, then maybe widen it out. Take a wider grip. If that was really easy for you, you can walk your hands in just a little bit. But again, keep it kind of easy. Right? Really what we're doing here is just retraining the shoulder blades, the scapula, to glide over the back of your rib cage in the way that they're supposed to. So sort of just retraining this range of motion here that is a little bit more functional. So it can feel a little bit sticky back there. Some people call these pass-throughs, I call them flossing, shoulder flossing. So it sort of feels like kind of getting unstuck, getting the stuff out from between the shoulder blade and the rib cage so that there's a little bit more functional glide there. So the first few can feel pretty sticky, depending on where you're at. So this is really good thing to do though, just to help to loosen up and kind of create less tension through the neck and the shoulders. And we'll just take like 2 more. So up and over. And come all the way back. This will be the last one then. All the way up. And all the way back. Good. And bring the strap forward again. Just a little bit more narrow with your hand position. So just walk it in just like a half a step. And then take your arms up over your head. Draw your shoulders down into the socket a little bit here. So you don't need to do it very forcefully. It's just sort of a gentle reminder to not bring your shoulders up here, but to sort of broaden out a little bit through your upper back. I'm going to take the right hand down and slightly behind us. So right hand down, slightly behind you. Left arm comes up. You're going to get a big stretch up to the lats. Keep your left hip anchored down. So if it's on the block, anchor your left hip to the block. Or if you're on the floor, just anchor it there. And then stretch up with your left arm so that you get a little bit more stretch on the left side. And then come all the way back up to center. We'll go the other way. Again, draw the shoulders down a little bit. Not forcefully, just gently so that you're not up here, but that you're a little bit broader. Take the left arm down and slightly behind you as well. And then the right arm here, push out just a little bit, but pull up on the strap. Keep the right side of your hips anchored so that you stay long from your right armpit all the way down to your right hip. And then come all the way back up. Let's do that one more time each side. Drop the right arm down, lift up through the left arm, pull on the strap like you're trying to stretch it. Left hip anchors. Good. And then come all the way back up to center, and let's go to the left side. Drop the left arm down and slightly back. Pull up on the strap with your right arm like you're stretching the strap. Anchor the right hip down. And then come all the way back up to center, bring your arms forward, and then you can release the strap here, push it off to the side. And then take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers. So, and then from here, bring your hands over to the left side. So if you can get your hands to kind of hang out over here on the left, great. If you can't, you'll just grab onto your wrists and kind of hold it wherever you can there. Pin your right arm onto the left side of your body. And then this left arm here, tuck it behind you. And then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. So think of it less as like pulling on your neck and more of just letting your left side of your head be heavy, so that your sort of like your left ear and your left shoulder have a little bit more heaviness to them. But keep the right shoulder heavy too. So there's this sort of subtle action that's happening of just re-lengthening the tissues on the right side of your neck. Couple of breaths. Use those inhalations here to remind yourself to keep the shoulders and the head heavy. And then from here, slowly keep your left ear towards your left shoulder. Slowly start to turn your chin down. You're just angling your nose slightly downward. This will change the muscles that are getting the benefit of that stretch. And then same thing here, keep the left ear heavy towards the left shoulder, but start to turn your nose up. So you're angling, again, your nose a little bit towards the ceiling, nose and chin maybe. Keep your shoulders heavy. Slowly turn your head back towards the center, nose back towards the center, and then bring your head up. Take your hands to the other side, over to the right side, as far as you can, and then tuck the right elbow in. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Give yourself a couple of breaths here just to soften. There's this initial reaction of those tissues when they're tense that just sort of like seize up a little bit. But just keep reminding yourself to relax. Shoulders are heavy, right ear is heavy towards your right shoulder. Rather than thinking of this as a stretch, more of a lengthening or re-lengthening of the tissues there. And then keep the right ear towards the right shoulder, start to angle your nose slightly downward. Again, removing the sensation of stretch around a little bit. So make sure that we hit all angles of your neck. Hold your breath. And then keep the right ear towards the right shoulder, but start to angle your nose upward. Relax the shoulders, keep your head heavy. Breathe. And then turn the nose back to center. And bring your head up. Take your hands straight down the center behind your back. Push your knuckles towards the floor and lift up through your chest. Stretch across the front of your chest here. Shoulders pull slightly back. Think about your arms hugging down into the sockets and then your arm bones moving back a little bit. Full breath in. And a full breath out. Release that. Shake out your arms a little bit. Right, slightly different thing here. We're going to bring the arms forward this time, so we have them behind the back quite a bit. Now we're going to bring them slightly forward. And then reach your arms forward, cross your right arm over the top of your left arm. So you can either just sort of grab on here if the next phase of this isn't accessible to you, or you can squeeze your forearms towards each other. Or if you've got the ability, wrap your fingers around the base of your thumb, your left fingers on the base of your right thumb, and create this wrap with your arms. So squeeze your arms towards each other, hug your shoulder blades down into the socket. So shoulders move slightly down and in. And then lift your forearms and elbows, stretch up through your fingers. Keep squeezing and hugging your shoulders down into the sockets. But stretch up through your fingers and lift your elbows just a little bit. So shoulders stay down, elbows and fingers lift. And then tuck your chin towards your chest, rest your forehead on your arms. And then from here, keep that squeeze, but start to round through your upper back a little bit. Drop your elbows down towards your belly button. So you're coming forward a little bit here, and then let gravity do the work. Sort of find a position where you can hold for a couple of breaths. Keep stretching forward with your fingers, and draw your shoulder blades down. Slowly sit up tall, unwind, shake it out. It's kind of intense, right? So this time we're going to bring the arms forward. The right arm is going to go under the left this time. Same wrap, you can either just grab onto the shoulders or you can bind up, wrap up your arms. And then hug your shoulders down into the socket, lift up through your chest. And lift the elbows a little bit higher and stretch up through your fingers. Keep those elbows, those shoulders, and maybe sort of hugging down, elbows reaching up. And then sit up nice and tall, and from here start to round a little bit. Tuck your chin towards your chest. You can rest your head on your arms. And then like you're trying to take your elbows towards your belly button here, start to round through your upper back. Keep hugging the shoulders down. Push your fingers slightly forward. And let gravity do the work. And then come all the way back up. Unwind your arms. Roll shoulders. Cool. All right. Then from here, come onto your back. Feet on the floor. Knees will be bent. You want your heels to come in comfortably close to your hips, and that your ankles, your knees, and your hip joints are all in straight lines. So like railroad tracks. Right? So you don't want to be kind of floppy through the knees or kind of caving inward, but that there's some structure to the way that the legs are shaped here. And then bring your hands to rest alongside you. Roll your shoulder blades down so that they're flat onto the floor. Keep your head and your neck kind of heavy here. And then tuck your tailbone under just slightly so you'll feel your lower back flatten towards the floor. Draw your front ribs back. Push into your feet and lift your hips. So initially we're looking for kind of a straight line here, just to activate the core to help support the lower back. And then imagine that there was a block, your yoga block was in between your legs. So your legs won't touch each other, they won't even move inward, but feel that you're trying to squeeze that block, even though there's not one there. And then if you've got this available to you, start to really flare your ribs a little bit, push into the floor a little bit harder, lift your rib cage up. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and then start to walk your upper arm bones in towards each other. So try to avoid taking them down. You don't want to stress out your neck too much here. Just roll your upper arm bones underneath you, squeeze them towards each other, push the pinky edge of your hands into the floor, and lift your chest a little bit higher. So we're really going for height here, but if it's bothering your lower back, think about lengthening your tailbone towards the back of your knees. So you stay long through the back of your body even though you're lifting. Be really strong in your upper back. Push your hands into the floor to lift a little bit higher. Take another breath. And then exhale, unclasp. Come all the way down. Put your knees in towards your chest. Rock your head a little from side to side. You can rock your body from side to side too here. Slowly make your way over to one side. Push yourself up to sit. Just a moment here to soften. Notice the effect of the practice of these different poses that we did and the work that we did to sort of nourish and reinvigorate the tissues so that you can focus and get back to whatever task you were on for today. Bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Slight bow to yourself, to your own heart, as a gesture of gratitude for taking the time to care for your neck and shoulders.